Good day, everyone. My name is John Snow, and I'm with Lifto Limited. We are the Toyota material handling dealer for the province of British Columbia, Ontario, Quebec, the Atlantic provinces, the state of Wisconsin, and Vermont. Well, here we are again. This is our fifth in a series of webinars called Elevating Minds. For all the newcomers, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and welcome back the rest of you. The purpose of these sessions are to share best practices and some insight into the products and services we provide to you, our valued clients. Last webinar, we asked one of our vendors to share their offering, and today we are pleased to welcome our partners from CascadeCorporation, who provides us with a variety of products and services to complement our equipment. Starting with forks and side shifters, which are common on most lift trucks today, to attachments for specific applications. I'd like to mention there will be an opportunity for questions, so if you have any, please type them in, and time permitting, we will have our guests answer as many as possible. So let me start by introducing our panel today. We have Steve Salter and Craig Stillwell, who both work as territory managers at Cascade Canada. Both Craig and Steve cover the Ontario market, the province of Manitoba, and the Atlantic provinces for sales and customer service. I'm pleased that both of you can join us today to speak about some of the products which you are providing to us on the regular basis, which I'd like to mention I feel are exceptional products and the service that you've provided us in addition to for years. Guys, welcome to the program today.
Thanks, John. So I think, John, what I'd like to do is start by talking a little bit about Cascade and our history, and then we'll jump right into the products.
Excellent.
So we're a global corporation, and we have 30 locations worldwide. We were founded in 1943 in Portland, Oregon, and currently there are 7 manufacturing facilities in the US and Canada that support our North and South American dealers and customers. In North America alone, there's 30 territory, regional, and strategic account managers that are working in the field directly with our dealers and our customers to provide the correct fork or attachment solution for every application. We have 2,000 employees, across 19 countries, and our employees have an average length of employment of 19 years at Cascade. As you mentioned earlier, I've been here for 14 years now, so I still haven't reached the average age of the employees here at Cascade for years of service. So it's a great organization.
Craig, if I can just add, you mentioned your manufacturing facilities in both the US and Canada. I've toured the facility in Mississauga, which is a great tour, and would encourage any clients who would like to see how your products are made, or if there's any employees at Lifto who haven't had the opportunity to do that tour, I'd encourage you to do it, because it's an awesome facility, and it's great to see how everything is manufactured and the attention that goes into your products.
Thanks for the kind words, John. Yep, all of our facilities are open for tours. I would encourage anyone who wants to come see, just give us a call and we can set that up for them. That's no problem at all.
Great.
Okay. So first we'll start with the Cascade warranty and what you get when you buy a Cascade piece of equipment. All of our new products have a full 3-year warranty for parts and labor. So this is a full warranty from start to finish. It is not prorated, and we administer that through the dealer. All of our Reman products have the same warranty in terms of the parts and labor coverage, but it's a 1-year warranty. And there's no hour restrictions on the Cascade warranty. We go from the date of implementation, not the date of sale, but the date of implementation of the product into the customer.
Excellent.
Our rental department. So right now I'm sitting in the Mississauga office for Cascade, and this is where we house our rental department for North and South America. We have right now over 1,100 attachments in our fleet, and we stock a majority of them here in Mississauga. We also have warehouses in Houston, Texas, and in Portland, Oregon, so we can strategically satisfy the needs of our customers throughout North and South America.
Great. Craig, could you just touch on your rental program, your rental purchase program, which we've taken advantage of both through our rental fleet and through our clients themselves?
Certainly. The rental purchase program is something that comes automatically with every rental that you take out. And basically the way it works is it applies a hefty percentage of the rentals the customer has paid towards the principal of the attachment. So we see this used in two main scenarios. Number one would be to help bridge a gap in capital. So the customer is applying for capital, it's 4 months away, but we need something today. What we can actually do is supply the rental or the attachment to the customer's specifications on a rental basis. And every month that they pay into that rental, they're bringing the principal of that, the principal value of the attachment down. When it 5 months or 4 months or 2 months elapses and they have budget approved, we simply take the starting principal amount less a portion of the rentals paid, and you have a new principal amount that they can either purchase, finance, or lease through the dealer. The other thing we use rentals for extensively is if there's a customer that has an application where there might be 2 or 3 different ways to handle the product, it's not always as clear as it might seem. We can put rentals in on a short-term, no-charge basis as a demo, or the customer can choose to rent something for 1 or 2 or 3 months with no commitment and without having to outlay that capital, just to make sure that this is exactly the right fit for them, and then we can move on with the purchase at that point.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. So again, sitting in Mississauga, Ontario, is also the North American Remanufacturing Center for our attachments. So at this facility, we strip these attachments down. They are completely disassembled. They're brought down to bare metal through shot blasting. And then every single weld on the attachment is inspected, repaired if necessary. Often new parts are installed if the old parts are too far worn. And by the time we're done, and you'd see this on your tour if you came to have a look at the place, by the time we're done, a remanufactured attachment of model 123 is interchangeable. The parts are interchangeable with the brand new attachment, model 123. That's what we bring them up to 100% condition again. They come out again with that 1-year warranty. Most of the attachments we sell, with the exclusion of side shifters and some of the smaller fork positioners, most of the attachments we sell are candidates for the Reman program. And as a result of that, we actually buy attachments back. So we're constantly on the hunt for attachments like carton clamps, paper roll clamps, single doubles, push pulls. These are rotators. These are very good candidates for the remanufacturing program. And we buy those back from customers to fill the need in that program.
Excellent. Craig, if I could, when would you determine if somebody is a candidate for a remanufactured attachment versus a new attachment?
That's a very good question. Not a super easy one to answer. Remanufactured attachments, because the quality level is so high, we could interchange them into new applications. Where we see them looked at most often is when a customer wants to save some money. There's about a 20-25% reduction in the cost. So it's not half the price. These are not used attachments. They're remanufactured attachments. And as such, they do carry a higher price. But we see them for customers that maybe only have 1 or 2 trucks, use the attachments sporadically, or they don't have a full-time use. But I've also put Reman into mills that are running 24/7, and they last incredibly well. So it's a very hard question to give you a firm answer to, or a solid answer to. Work with us. Let us help you determine if Reman's the right choice for your customer, and we'll steer you in the right direction.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. So what we'll do here is we'll have a look at what I'd like to call the usual suspects. So these are some of the more common attachments you're going to bump into in the field, and certainly some of the more popular attachments we sell. In no way is this an extensive or a full list of what we offer. There's hundreds of attachments we offer. These are the top few. So the first one would be a single double. This is in no order, by the way. A single double carries 2 palletized loads side by side, and can also, by pulling a lever on the truck, can collapse the forks down to handle a single pallet wide. The advantage of this is it allows us to load or unload homogeneous product that's all the same. Instead of there's 26 pallet positions in a truck, we can do it in 13 runs instead of 26 runs, because we're carrying two products at a time. Approximate time savings, it's not half the time. You do go a little slower when you're handling 2 loads in front, but you get a good 30-35% reduction in time to load or unload a trailer. These units have an all steel frame. They have the best visibility in the industry. And they come with a full width bearing, which carries a 10,000 hour bearing guarantee. And that bearing guarantee is based on the hours of the truck. It's not, it's on top of the 3 years. So it's, if you have a 5-year-old attachment with 8,000 hours on it, those bearings are still guaranteed. We've done another thing with the new units. When we switched to the steel frame, we went with all the same forks, and we offset the inner forks a little bit lower than the outer forks. This allows the product to nest like this and self-support. As a result, the inner forks tend to wear a little quicker than the outer forks. So what we've done on this unit is we've made the forks interchangeable. So as those forks approach the end of their useful life, we can simply switch the inner forks to the outer forks, and we get that same wear again, because the outer forks almost never wear. So what that does, John, that helps to kind of drive down that lower cost, that total cost of ownership for the attachment.
Excellent.
Another very, very popular product that we sell thousands of in North and South America and globally is our carton clamp. Recently redesigned, similar all steel frame as our single double, the same 10,000 hour bearing guarantee. And we have a new valve incorporated into this attachment that automatically helps. We can set up for pressure relief, but it also stops backhanding, which is can be a severe issue. So backhanding, pressure relief is the pressure felt when we clamp a load. Backhanding is when we go in between loads and we open the clamp arms, and now we're using the outside of the arms, which are steel and certainly not meant to handle product, to push loads across the floor. So this can create substantial amounts of damage. And what that valve does is it stops the clamp from pushing too hard. So it stops or reduces that backhanding that we see in some carton clamp applications.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So taking another kind of add-on that we have for carton clamps is something called HFC, or hydraulic force control. One of the biggest challenges we've seen over the years with any pressure relief is the requirement for the operator to interface with that relief and to pick the correct setting. So quite often we would sell a 3-function pressure relief valve with a selectable knob, a high, a medium, and a low, if you will. And 9 times out of 10, when we inspect these trucks in the field, they're on high. And if you ask the operator, how often do you change the pressure relief? They say, what pressure relief? We don't touch it. HFC completely eliminates this issue. So what this does, it's transparent to the operator, and it's a valve that feels the back pressure from the lift circuit. So what the operator has to do in this case, we set up a threshold pressure. The operator will clamp onto the fridge or the stove or the televisions or whatever the product is, and they will begin to lift. And that is the extent of it for the clamping. That's the last time they're going to touch that clamping lever until they go to open that clamp. When they lift, the HFC valve takes over, pardon me, again, completely transparent to the operator with no operator interface at all. And it proportions the pressure we're using to handle the load by the back pressure, and we will set that up with the dealer for the customer. And this thing has worked absolutely flawlessly in carton clamp and in paper roll clamp applications. So the HFC valve, in a nutshell, completely reduces damage from clamping and is completely transparent to the operator.
Great. Yeah. No, I've seen the attachment function that's available now. The 3 pressure has been around forever and ever. And I think your comment about what 3 pressure relief valve are you referring to is a common answer we've seen, but very great product, and we're seeing a lot more of it now. So it's great.
Excellent. So we've also redesigned one of the mainstays of our fleet, if you will, is what we call the sliding arm clamp. So a sliding arm clamp is something that if you attach forks to it, becomes a fork clamp. If you put bail arms to it, becomes a bail clamp. Poles on it becomes a bar arm. We can, whatever you can think of, we can attach the front of this. It's a very, very large section of what we sell. So we've again gone with that all steel frame. We have that same 10,000 hour bearing warranty. And again, on this one, we've played with the valve. And the valve used to sit on the top of these frames, John. And if you've ever seen the old ones, if they go into a container, they would typically knock that valve off, which would break hoses and be very costly and put them down. The valve is now protected behind the frame. And again, we've introduced single function pressure relief into that. We've also introduced a flow divider. Now, what that does, on the old system, we had a circuit that would basically, if one arm was moving quicker than the other, you'd get this uneven kind of arm movement. On our carton clamps, we didn't have that because we had a device called a flow divider, and the flow divider would open the left and the right arms simultaneously and equally. That was something that was really commented on, that we needed this on this product. So we have just, as a standard offering now, it's on the product. So not only can we control pressure, we can also have that even arm opening and closing that the customers have been looking for.
Great.
Okay. The next item that we have are push pulls. So a push pull is a device that interfaces with typically a slip sheet. It can also be used for knifing under products that don't have slip sheet, for unloading containers and for trailers for the most part. So all of the models that we sell, there are 3 of them. They're all built for high cycle, heavy duty applications, and they can all handle pallets and slip sheets interchangeably. Which pallets they can handle is something that we should absolutely talk about when the time comes. Some are meant for block and GMA, some are meant just for GMA, but we'll help with your rep. We'll help determine the correct one for your customer. And we can also customize these things very easily. They're very customizable. So if we need to go from, for example, a 15-inch wide platen to a 13-inch wide platen, or remove the platens and put on forks, there's lots of different options that we can do. Just get us involved and we'll help work with you and your customer for that.
Good. And if I could just echo your comments about getting you to come and see the application. Both Craig and Steve are readily available. They've seen applications that nobody else has seen, and made great recommendations based on the products that they provide and the things that they've seen in the field. So take advantage of that wherever possible.
It's a huge portion of what we do on a day-to-day basis. And I mentioned earlier, there's 30 of us in North and South America just waiting to do exactly that, John. Get the perfect solution for your customer and make sure everything is right on.
Excellent.
So that's the end of my part of the presentation. I'll let you bring Steve in now, and I'll sit back and watch.
Okay, Steve, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Craig. That was awesome. So we're going to talk forks. So in addition to standard pallet forks, as well as lumber forks that we build out of Guelph, Ontario, Cascade has a full line of what we call smart forks. So we'll talk a few options here. Sensor or camera forks, they help reduce damage by using a high resolution camera and display, a distance and object sensor, and a light. So what the application is for these is, again, high rack applications or dark trailers, anything where visibility is priority. We can definitely incorporate sensor or camera forks.
Good.
Way forks, so these are like a built-in scale. So you save time and money by weighing your product as you move it. Way forks can be integrated into warehouse management systems. We can incorporate a label printer or a standard dot matrix printer or thermal printer. These way forks are Bluetooth and battery powered, so allows complete wireless installation in minutes. It also allows you to move it from one truck to another, so you're not dedicated to having the way forks to one truck. So it's a great tool for customers to increase their efficiencies throughout the warehouse.
Excellent. Thank you.
So a couple more smart forks. We have roller forks. These are specialty forks with the internal rolling mechanism. Definitely used for slip sheeting, but will also handle pallets and bins as such. Roller forks are designed to maximize efficiencies and do not require hydraulics like a push pull. So ideally for walkies or anything that don't require hydraulics or don't have hydraulics, we can add a roller fork too. Reach forks, so these are telescopic forks and they're available in a hydraulic or manual version. Several capacities are available for anywhere from a 5,000 to 15.5 truck. And they're great for loading double deep racks, reaching over flatbeds, or anywhere additional reach is required. So that's where we use a reach fork.
Excellent. Thank you.
So one of the neat products that we sell is a Cascade layer picker. This streamlines the picking process and increases the speed of building pallets where you need to make a mixed layer of product pallets. The system allows customers to build mixed pallets at a very high and sustainable speed.
If I can add, I've participated in some layer picker applications where we've put some trucks in place. The most common being a 6 or 6,500 pound electric. And I don't know if you noticed from the pictures, but there is a mast that's included on this. When we order this truck from the factory, we order it without the mast, and Cascade supplies the mast to us. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, that's correct. So there's several different types available. The most common being the picture on the left, the 180-degree swing. Uh, Highly recommend just ship your truck to Cascade and we'll button it up, do all the install, and get it ready to go for the customer.
Excellent.
So again, the benefits of the 180-degree layer picker, it increases productivity and accuracy and decreases damage and injuries. They're typically 4 to 5 times faster than manual picking or manual labor, and the return on investment is usually less than 1 year. Again, Cascade can install the entire system out of our facility in Mississauga. We also have this available to us out of Springfield, Ohio for the people in the US. So several different models. Again, the 180-degree swing is what you see there. We have a stationary front mount, fork mount, as well as a magnetic head layer picker, which is great for canned goods or glass jars with steel lids for damage-free picking. And this is just an example of a complete layer picker install that we did with the rail system that you see there. So we have a definite spec for rails. It's usually a 6x6 by 3/4 inch rail with a 2x2 pallet stop on each side. Everything is epoxy to the floor, so it's very durable. And again, this option is available through our Mississauga facility.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. So H-Series paper roll clamps, they were redesigned a couple years back. The new H-Series paper roll clamps have increased visibility, speed, and durability. Better engineering specs, which increases your overall net truck capacity, and a variety of different capacities available from 700 to 26,000 pounds to handle a variety of types of paper, as well as we get them into concrete industry as well with some special pads and whatnot. So it's not just specifically for paper rolls. We can get into drum handling as well as concrete applications, but again, they're kind of designed for a paper roll, and with the right pad and configuration, we can accommodate different industries.
Okay.
The smallest roll clamp we make is called a 3H paper roll clamp. It's lightweight and it's designed for walkie stackers. These are ideal for trucks with low or no hydraulic flow. Pads are designed to handle high cost rolls and can work with non-hydraulics through a manual turn system.
Okay.
So Cascade has a full line of attachments which we can customize. Craig kind of touched on it. So any carton clamp, if you need a special range or special pad size or any attachment, we can customize any standard attachment. We love the challenge of custom applications as well. So here's a handful of them that we get into. For drum dumpers are kind of neat. That's the top left. It's a multi-use attachment, which allows the versatility of handling drums, as well as you can slip the drum arms off and use them as a fork clamp to handle bins or pallets throughout the warehouse. Marble handlers are designed to support loads of marble and granite and just unloading and loading closed top containers. Forging manipulators, great attachment, high heat, so Viton seals, some special coatings that we put into this attachment for the high heat applications. Pipe hold downs. Again, it's just a clamp that comes down, holds the pipe onto the forks, secures the load as you drive it through the yard. Tire handlers, so again, a variety of different ways to handle tires. The one here is for mining tires, so it gets into very high capacities, and large earth moving tires is what you see there. Fixed fork shredders are kind of neat. Any long loads, roof trusses, pipes, anything like that. 20-foot long. So we have a fixed fork spreader. It hangs on your carriage or slips over your forks and just provides additional stability for long loads.
Steve, if I could just add, a majority of these products, there's YouTube videos available. So reach out to either Steve or Craig if you're looking, or if you know of somebody who's considering one of these types of applications, and you can see how these products actually work in action. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We have a great photo gallery internally, and again, if you need a photo or video, or again, just call Craig or I or any of your local TMs, and we'll be happy to discuss any special products with you. Again, as you mentioned, the YouTube channel, this is a great resource for how-to videos, training, and product application videos. I believe there's close to 80 different videos on our YouTube channel, and they're also, you can get to it through our website.
Good.
And again, here's our website, CascadeCorp.com. Variety of different options here, videos, brochures, manuals, spec sheets, everything that you need for your day-to-day support. If you ask Craig and I, we definitely would prefer a phone call than your online support. But again, if you're in front of the customer and you need a video or a brochure, it's easy to pull up on your phone or tablet and kind of go through it for you.
So if I could just add to your comments, Steve, whenever possible, let's take advantage of Steve and Craig's expertise. Take them out to the application or show them what it is that your client is trying to achieve, so that they can make, they are the experts. So let's take advantage of their expertise and ensure that they see the application before we make any decisions on procuring any equipment in the future. So thanks very much, guys. A couple questions that we have. One is related, we touched on forks, but there was a question related to pin style versus hook type forks. Steve, is that something that you want to touch on?
Sure.
The question basically, when do you recommend a pin style versus a hook type fork?
Sure. So pin type forks, again, usually we see pin type forks in higher capacity applications, concrete, brickyards, that kind of thing. Uneven ground, also very popular to use a pin type fork. Again, we do a floating eye design as well, so it can accommodate different size loads, uneven loads. But again, usually higher capacity as well as uneven ground is where we see a pin type fork. Okay,
great. And we've got one other question, Craig. I'll give this one to you. It's related to false carriage. And what is a false carriage, and what is the purpose of it?
A false carriage in layman's terms will be like an adapter plate. So what this does, every truck that is an ITA truck, which is the Industrial Truck Association, has a class 2, 3, or 4 class carriage. What that means is they're different heights. So if you tried to put a class 3 fork or attachment on a class 2 or 4 carriage, it just won't fit. So what we do with this adapter plate is we make the back of it to fit a class 4 or a class 3. We make the front of it a little smaller or a little bigger, depending on what you want to do. And it goes between the forklift and the attachment to help you, to install that attachment on that truck or that set of forks. So you see them, that's one of the most common uses. Another very common use for false carriages would line up with what Steve talked about earlier, the fixed fork spreaders. Fixed fork spreaders are brilliant products, very easy to install, fairly inexpensive for what they do. And we see them in a range from kind of 6 or 7 to 20 feet wide to handle loads up to around 60 feet long. A false carriage can be used for something sub 6 or 7 feet. So we can build you a 6 or a 7 foot wide false carriage, put 2 sets of forks on it or 3 sets, or how many forks you want, and we can use that for handling wider loads and cradling. They come quick attach, which means you pull a pin, no tools, no hydraulics, drop it off in the corner. So those would be the 2 most common applications we see for a false carriage: an adapter plate between a carriage and an attachment of differing ITA classes, or like a 4-man's fixed fork spreader. That would be the 2
Excellent.
times.
Excellent. Thank you. And if I could just add that we need to be conscious of derated capacity when adding a false carriage, because this will have an effect on what that net capacity is of the truck. So we will need to look at fresh capacity plates and communicate that to our client. So
Correct.
Okay, so this concludes our webinar for today. On behalf of Lifto Limited and Cascade Canada, I'd like to thank you for your time and your continued support of our products and services we provide. We wish you and your family all the best for the balance of the summer and throughout the remainder of 2020. And thanks very much for your time, guys.
You're welcome, John. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.